Hello, my name is Kevin Collins. This screencast is going to show you my edit of a raw file from the edit this raw file section of the Fro knows photo.com forums. First, I think this is a great little program, I guess. It not only lets me try my hand at editing a professional photograph, but it also lets me compare my edits to the pros edits and see what I could have done to make mine better, or to see how close that I get mine to the professional edit. Now, since there are 14 weeks of these at this point, it is the 27th of February, and I think this thing started last week of November. According to the forums, there's 14 of these. I think I'm gonna work through all 14 of them, and probably continue to do so as long as you guys put the raw files up there. I want to say a couple of things up front. That first, I have not seen your all's edits of any of these, except for, I'm not sure if it was number 13 or number 14. It was the one with the blonde-headed girl or brown-headed girl leaning up against a rock that was out of focus. That's the one that I watched, and that's the one that got me to this point. So anyway, what I'm going to do is talk about the picture, talk about as much of it as I know, and from what I understand from the forums, these pictures are submitted to you guys. They're not your photos, so I want to say up front that it's not my photo. It's just my edit of the photo. Whoever was the original photographer, credit goes to them. So that out of the way, let's the format I'm going to use here is I'm going to talk about the picture, sort of like Jared does on when he starts out, talk about as much technical information about it as I know, the camera that took it, the lens that was attached to it, etc., etc. Then I'm going to go in and talk about the things that in my mind need to be adjusted so that the photo becomes better or presentable. And then finally, I'm going to show you the final edits. So let's get right straight into it. The photo was taken by a Nikon D3000. It was the Nikon had a 14 to 24 f2.8 lens. It was shot at 14 millimeters at f8, ISO 100, and 0.4 of a second shutter speed. So, just looking at the picture, a couple of things jump out at me. First of all, these tablecloths look a little, I don't know, bluish. So the white balance needs to be tweaked a little bit. Yeah. The windows obviously are way, way, way blown out, and I can understand why. If you're sitting inside of a restaurant, which is what this looks like, it's either at a just a restaurant or a reception area for a wedding or something like that. But it looks to me like setting this up from the inside. I mean, I know there's a lot of light coming through there, but I doubt that the room is fairly well lit. So whoever took the picture exposed it for the inside, or it looks like they did, and it kind of blew out the windows, which that's what you're after, I guess, is the stuff inside is more important than the stuff outside. I'm going to try to pull something from this. I don't think that there's anything there because it is blown out so bad, but I want to try. We'll see. I don't know. The this these chairs, the colors of them just aren't poppy, and I'm not sure if I can do anything about that, but I'm going to try to. So let's get started. There's three things that I do to every photo that I touch. The first is obviously I make a copy of the raw file. So I'm going to go do that by just right clicking on it down here in the film strip and create a virtual copy. And then as you can see right here, I'm working in the copy, not the original. The second thing I do is apply what I call basic sharpening. It's what Jared refers to as general sharpening. As a matter of fact, it's his exact settings. As you can see over here, right now it's just using the default settings from Lightroom, and when I apply the basic sharpening, it tweaks them to where Jared's general sharpening is. Now I may zoom around and think that that needs to be tweaked or not, but this is a good starting point. The second thing I do is I turn lens correction on, and that basically involves putting this check on. Now I don't mess with the other adjustments that can be done, the distortion, the vignetting, etc. I basically just say, Lightroom, you know what kind of lens this picture was taken with, adjust it to make it proper, and just let it alone with that. So let's get into it first of all by trying to bring the white balance into shape here, and I'm just going to make it a little warmer. I've tried using this and just pick something gray, but there's really nothing in here that kind of fits the bill. So instead of using the picker, I'm just going to go ahead and tweak it until it looks right, and it's probably going to be somewhere about there. Yeah, I think that's right, and I'll just round that off to 5100. That makes the walls look a little warmer. It makes the tablecloths look a little less blue. So yeah, that made an improvement. The next thing I'm going to try to do is to tweak the exposure here and see if I can't get something from these windows. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to bring the exposure down. You know, even if I bring it all the way down, I mean, you can see some trees in the background here, maybe some bushes, and they're either flowering bushes or the sun's hitting them. But there's giant areas of white here, and I wonder what recovery will do. Yeah, there's just nothing there. I mean, I think that even if I went in with an adjustment brush and set the exposure somewhere around 2 stops below and just did some painting, yeah, nah, there's just really nothing there. So what we're going to try and do here then is, instead of trying to bring what information is here out, we'll just, I guess, try and expose the inside for a proper pleasing feel, I guess. So like I said, to do that, I've brought the white balance down, or up, I guess. I'm going to go on with the exposure here and just tweak it a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little more. Yeah, let's make that 0.25, quarter of a stop below where it was shot. And I think that just brings up the contrast a little bit back here in the back and gives some separation between the two different sets of chairs here, and it puts some definition in these chairs, in my opinion. brings out some subtleties in the ceiling maybe. So speaking of contrast, let's see what we can do with it. Bump it up a little bit. I don't want to go too far because we start to lose stuff. But I'm thinking 50, 55. Yeah, let's go 55. So yeah, we're starting to get a nice feel for it here. What I'm doing now is I'm just looking around on my camera. I mean, this ISO 100 probably is not going to give it, but I just like looking around for noise, seeing if there's any kind of noise that may need some fixing here. And there's slight little bits here, but not enough that I'd worry about it. I mean, that kind of looks like film grain, which is not terrible. I like that little spotlight. Well, it's not really a spotlight, but I like how it's turned toward us and it got that flare. Toilette. I wonder what kind of restaurant that is. Anyway, so I'm not going to be doing any noise reduction with this because I don't think it really needs it. I've done the sharpening, and we're really not going to do much else to it, I don't think. I guess I could go in and do something with Photoshop and kind of mask out the background, but I just don't think there's anything there to pull it back. So we're just going to leave it like that. Yeah. So there's my interpretation of it. Now, the only thing that I know that I would do after this would be bring it into Photoshop and throw on some borders, and if it was my picture, throw on a logo, watermark, reduce it for web upload. But and I'll probably put the borders on it when I upload it. But I think that's pretty much where I'm gonna leave it at. Yeah, so that's my rendition of this picture. I won't show you the borders because it's kind of, you've seen one border, you've seen them all. I will take just a second here at the end of the video to give myself a shameless plug and point you all into my website. Actually, two websites. The first is my blog, klcollins.org. That's more of a geeky system administrator rant type place. If you all, I'm assuming, or I would assume that you all would be more interested in my photography, and that website is photos.klcollins.org. Now, as of this date, I just redid that Photos website, and in the process I took out a lot of content, so it's just getting started again. But as I start to become more of a amateur photographer, taking away from the hobbyist side, going toward the amateur side, that place will become hopping. So take a visit over there. Feel free to look and browse and comment all that you want to. And I just want to say again at the end, thanks to Jared and to Greg for starting this program up, because I think it's going to help me a lot, and I look forward to doing the remaining 13 so far, and however many more that you put up in the future. I'll probably do screencasts for every one of them. So until I get that screencast done for the next 13, we'll just leave it at that and say see you next time.